Hello everyone. Welcome to this episode of the Ins and Outs of SDI. My name is Frances Patterson and I'm the CoTeach specialist for Northside ISD. In this episode, we'll look at the connection between co-teaching and SDI. So if this is of interest to you, please keep on watching and as always, like and subscribe. Now let's dive in. I'll start off by reflecting on a question that I have repeatedly gotten, which is, why is my title Co-Teach Specialist if my main focus is really specially designed instruction? And really, it's because co-teaching and specially designed instruction go hand in hand. Here in Northside, we really use the co-teaching models to help facilitate the delivery of specially designed instruction. In the CoTeach classroom, we have 2 certified teachers, and they're there to really work together to design and deliver instruction to meet the individual needs of students. Now, this is a very complex task, which would be nearly impossible without the use of some of the flexible grouping or structures and routines that are part of the CoTeach model. It is these structures, again, or flexible grouping, that really allows the teachers to lower the teacher to student ratio and be able to successfully tailor instruction to students, especially when addressing some of those needs that might not integrate seamlessly into the general curriculum. As the series progresses, we'll dive a little bit deeper into some of those specific strategies and practices and flexible grouping that can be used in the CoTeach classroom. But for now, I would like to introduce you to one of our dedicated co-teachers, Abigail Pruitt-Campbell from Rayburn Middle School.
So I started with my student teaching in first grade. I was fortunate enough to get to student teach for Northside, but I was elementary. So we had a teacher come in to support during reading time and during math time, and they would rotate those groups. So I got to see a lot of in and outs, which to me was pretty interesting. Plus, then they had an extra set of hands now to help. So
Right.
I will never forget going in the week prior to me even student teaching, and I was just gonna go in and watch. And she's like, "Hey, you wanna like jump in?" And I'm like, at this point, I was just helping them. I was all in. I was like, "All right, we're all in. Let's go." So then COVID hit, and I wasn't sure I was gonna get a job. So I ended up getting hired here the Thursday before new teachers started. Well, Friday.
Yes.
So I jumped straight in. They hired me as an English collab. So I've been a collab teacher now. This is my 3rd year. So I've always had a co-teacher. This is my first year where the co-teacher leaves a little bit more than just staying in every class. So the first 2 years, my co-teacher was here every class period, but with the numbers this year. So I've always worked with collab, and I've always enjoyed those kids that needed the extra support. Even with the classes smaller this year, I've enjoyed that I get to do that one-on-one teaching with them and letting them know that I'm there to support them.
So what do you think maybe are like some skill sets or approaches that you now have that maybe you wouldn't have had if you hadn't been in a co-teach classroom?
Patience and flexibility. I will never forget I think it was like my 3rd year in college, and I was always somebody who was like, it didn't go as planned, like what do I do? And after my first year being in a collab setting where things you are just constantly reteach, okay, they didn't get that idea, okay, how can I give that information to them in a different way? That has definitely taught me being in a collab setting. Okay, you're gonna have to reword that in a way that they can break that down. Can I do now? Okay, can I give them a visual? Can I give it to them in writing? Okay, can I give them a different option to respond? Can I give it to them orally?
How about some of the maybe challenges?
And so for me, sometimes I have to remember if I'm in the moment, one of my challenges is not to hold on. I drop whatever was going on and go support that versus getting upset that I might be overwhelmed at that moment. And so how can I address that? especially with COVID.
So you've taken the test, right?
I have. I'm
You've
so
passed, and
excited.
we've all celebrated. So, but I'm sure it's also a little scary.
A little scary.
Right?
Very, very, yeah.
What are kind of some of those concerns as you think about a future as a special education teacher?
So I think my biggest concern would be the legal stuff that comes with it, which I've, been in a collab setting and I've worked on a PLAF and I've been in an art. But when you become the sole person of it all, I think that does kind of scare me a little bit.
I do understand a little bit of that fear, right? That compliance, that paperwork. Our assistant director for middle school, she jokes about the special ed police, and she tells some of like the newer coordinators or teachers, like, yeah, sometimes people think, oh, the SC police is going to come out when you make a mistake. And it's knowing like, nope, everybody's there to support you, and mistakes do happen.
See, and that's good
and
to know.
There's a process for that. It's still nice to see people wanting to go into the profession, especially, right now we have teacher shortages and things like that. So to see people that are eager, that they feel it's their calling, that's always.
And I grew up, well, my mom was, she just retired this last year. And so she was a teacher as well. And then I had a really good, I had an interesting childhood, but I had a lot of support through those teachers, and they've all kind of inspired me through the years to continue it and to be there, and they're my kids' supporters. So,
well, thank you so much for sharing.
No, thank you.
While every teacher's experience is unique and different, I do hope that you were able to connect with some of what Abigail shared with us today. Please make sure to share a bit about your own experiences in the comments section below. And as always, remember to like and subscribe. Please make sure to join me in the next episode of the Ins and Outs of SDI, where we'll be discussing what domains are in the world of specially designed instruction. Bye-bye for now.